At Advanced Digitalisation, we believe that digital technology and innovation are crucial for achieving a necessary change in both society and industry. We share a vision for Sweden to continue as a leading research nation with the next generation solutions being developed here. However, it's not just technology that drives transition and competition. Sustainability also motivates change. By investing in broad and smart solutions, we can reduce our environmental impact and increase our ability to manage challenges and build both resilience and efficient value chains. No one can solve smart and secure data flows between complex system of systems alone. Our paths need to cross in new ways, and that is precisely what Advanced Digitalisation stands for. The interaction between industry, the state, and the academic community is a key factor in promoting success. We believe that by working together, we can achieve even more. So, are you with us?
Welcome to this seminar about the future of flight management. My name is Fredrik von Essen. I'm process manager at the Advanced Digitalisation program that is hosting this webinar. The purpose is to present the testbed air mobility project that is funded by the program. And soon I will invite a number of speakers to present the project. But first, we will introduce you to the Advanced Digitalisation program itself. And to help us doing that, I have the honor to have one of the main drivers of the program, Christian Hedelin. Christian, you are Senior Vice President and Chief Strategy Officer at Saab, but most importantly for this webinar, you are also a board member of the Advanced Digitalisation program. You have been that since the beginning in 2021. Christian, could you please tell us more about the program, the goals, and so on?
Yes, and thanks for inviting me, Fredrik, to this session. Well, the background is that we started to discuss the opportunities but also challenges around digitalization and advanced digitalization, both within Vinnova, but also within some of the major industrial companies in Sweden. And then we jointly decided, why don't we set up a private-public joint effort to actually accelerate ideas within the area of advanced digitalization. And then we started off 2021, and I think we have found a very good structure where we sort of leverage the program into using the latest and greatest research and apply that in applied research calls. But not only that, we also have a foundation where we can mature those research initiatives into more mature technology solutions in open testbeds. And then finally, in order to scale that even further, the program is also structured around integrated learning, industrial learning, which allows us to not only have islands of excellence, but actually increase those islands of excellence across industries and the public sector.
Thank you. And who are the partners of the program?
Well, so if you call that the founding partners, very much sponsored by Vinnova, has been Saab, which I represent, together with Ericsson, ABB, and also now lately AB Volvo. So we are the large industrial companies, but we also have had a very close collaboration since start of it with the Association of Technology Industry, Teknikföretagen Sweden, who are representing then the small and medium enterprises, creativity and innovation. So those are the key members of the board who are driving this program jointly together.
Thank you. I'm happy that you mentioned learning, because that is my area of responsibility of the program. But research and innovation, that's the main part of the program. But we also have learning and collaboration as integral parts. How do they relate?
Yeah, and if I start then from sort of the research perspective, where I think we have some of the best researchers and universities within the Swedish ecosystem. But in order to create an acceleration of value of that research, we want to put focus on, as I mentioned, the applications of that research, so applied research. And then to further enhance that and also bring in new entities and lower the barriers for collaboration also for small and medium enterprises, that is where we have the open testbeds, which is a very important foundation on how we can jointly create the solutions where we leverage advanced digitalization today then in the air domain, but also in other areas like circular economy and energy area, which are very important. So I think the collaborative part of this program is one of the major ideas behind it. And it's also one of the major success factors to make this program deliver interesting output. Because I'm fully convinced that many of the new disruptive innovations very often comes from the mix, when you mix different domain expertise with academia and the public sector experts. That in that mix and that collaboration, I see that we reached the new groundbreaking innovations, and that is the whole essence of the program, so to speak. So the collaborative foundation, applied research, and open testbeds to facilitate collaboration. That's the whole essence of it.
Thank you. Of course, we're going to speak more about this particular project, the testbed air mobility, but this project, together with a few others, have a kind of particular status within the program, because most are kind of smaller projects, but you have dedicated resources to this and some few other projects. Could you explain why?
Yeah, and you're fully right. And I mean, the setup is such that a majority of the innovation financing is through open applied research calls. That is open to both the university sector and researchers there, as well as for industrial companies, small, medium, and large ones. And those calls are typically shorter time frame, and they are open and competitive. Ultimately, Vinnova decides who gets financed, what ideas get financed. But we realize that we also have very important themes, and the digitalization of the air domain is one such theme. I mentioned circular economy. I also actually, which we are addressing also, is total defense innovation. So there are a couple of very important themes where we would like to have a thematic approach where we have multi-annual individual focus project initiatives. And this, the advanced air mobility, is one such area which we will listen more into from the team later on here. So you could say, to your question then, that roughly half of the effort is about this normal applied research calls, but roughly half of it is dedicated to a couple of very important themes where we see great benefit of accelerating the digitalization of everything from air domain to how we handle circular economy to energy sector.
Thank you, Christian. You will come back towards the end, but if you please step down, and then I will invite the people driving the actual test air mobility to step up.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
See you later.
See you. So, on stage here we have Katarina Lindholm, who is the program manager of the testbed air mobility project. We have Morgan Lindqvist, principal researcher of digital airspace at Ericsson. And then we have Jesper Tordenlid, project manager of VASP Vara PS and senior systems engineer. We will have a few rounds here, but I tell the audience that you're very welcome to type in questions, and then we take it towards the end of this session with the panel here. So, first, a brief presentation of yourself. If you briefly, with one breath, could say how you ended up in this project.
Well,
Katarina.
I've been working at Saab for 30 years plus right now. I have been interested in aviation for my whole life, and for the around 3 last years. Also, a big interest in the unmanned flights for the future.
Thank you. One breath it was. So, working at Ericsson 10 years ago, I started looking into drones, and when this when this opportunity came up, I thought it was really interesting and wanted to join.
Thank you.
Yes, and I have a background at Saab as well. 25 years in Saab and Combitech, and 7 years in VASP recently. And I try always to be where new demands, new opportunities meet technology. And I've been in unmanned flight autonomy, and this is the perfect match. So it's a really interesting project to be part of.
Thank you. So the second round here, you will have the opportunity to present the project a bit deeper here. And Katarina here prepared a number of slides. While you do your presentations, and I begin here with Katarina and Morgan, if you could have in the back of your mind also, how should industry and society cooperate to deal with challenges related to the future of air transport management? And also, as Christian described earlier, this is a focus project within the program. So, why do you think it's important that this is a focus project?
Yes.
Katarina, please.
Yeah, I'll start. There always an increased need of transportation, both on the sea, on land, railway, on the roads that we see. They got more and more narrow. And I think the airspace is an unutilized resource today. So what can we do? We need to improve that with more effective, cost-effective, and also environmentally friendly transportation in the air. We have started this project. We had the opportunity to do that because we had to get some funding from what you see Advanced Digitalisation via Vinnova. Saab is coordinating the project, and we are also Ericsson. We have aviation capability resources. We have Swedavia with us. We have LFV, the air navigation service providers in Sweden. We have RISE, and we have also Linköping University with us. So we have 7 parties running this project. So we have a vision, as we can see on the next slide. The vision is to integrate it, the full integration about manned and unmanned aircrafts in the sky for the future. But we have some kind of a long journey to do that. And one of the pillars, among a lot of other pillars, is this project. And we started with a small phase in 21-22, and the name of that project was Autonomous Airport, and that's a very wide name for a project. So we decided to start more with experiments how to fly drones digitally and fully automated. And we did that in an experimental phase, and we proceed to make a demonstration of it. And that was the ground, the base for the next phase that we are doing right now. We started the project in late 2023, and with all those participants that I mentioned. And what we're going to achieve here is to make a use-based system with all those services which are required, and all those regulations that we have to improve and take also in account, of course. And collaboration, we have Swedavia with us, so it's a great opportunity to collaborate with a bigger airport in Sweden. How can we have the conventional flight in the same time we have procedures for the unmanned? And one of the most things that we have to look into is also safety and security. We need to have both safety on ground, we need to have safety in the air, and security in all information to do this more or less autonomous. And besides the unmanned system that we create, we also look into how can we improve the digitalization for the air traffic navigations today with more digital tools and also the HMI between the people who have the air traffic navigation providers today and to the new tools. How can they cooperate? And of course, we also use the technology that we have today for connectivity via 5G and so on. So how can we use that perfect technology to put it up in the sky? And Morgan, please continue.
Yes, thank you very much, Katarina. So apart from all the cool things and algorithms that needed to actually fly and control the drones or the UAVs also need to be connected to be able to receive and send signals, both control and command, as well as then maybe videos streams. And all of this is then can be from an Ericsson point of view is really interested in. So we then make sure that we have connectivity in the air. But we can also provide a lot of other things apart from connectivity. For instance, a mobile network knows where on the ground the different peoples are. So these kind of heat map, you could call it, can then be sent to the entity in the network that plans the route of the drone, and then it can avoid flying over a large number of people. And that's just one example. There are many examples on how you can extract information from the mobile network to make the flight of a drone more stable and secure. But going back to your question, Fredrik, about how we should do this, and on this slide you can see that what we are developing is not only a testbed, we are developing an open testbed. And this open testbed can then be used by all other entities, companies and institutions here in Sweden. Here are some examples that we are already talking to. But if you have a company or if you're working at an institution, you're thinking, I really would like to start digging into this with drones, please contact us. Because as soon as we have the testbed up and running, which later this year sometimes, then you are more than welcome to start using it, collaborating with us, or adding your functionality.
Thank you, Morgan and Katarina. Jesper, you're heading what I could call as a twin project to the testbed air mobility. Please introduce.
Yes, thank you. Advanced Digitalisation, we have VASP, which is Sweden's largest program in research ever, targeting autonomy, AI, and software. So here we have two really big initiatives covering both research and innovation, and that's a really good match here. So some words about VASP. It started 2015, and it's a very long-term program. So we can do things for the future, and one of the big things here to deliver is 600 PhDs coming out. It's a lot of education, a lot of learning, and it's up to 450 in the program today. And coming to a much simpler figure is one for each week coming out. And we need to put the best tools and the best knowledge and context on them. So one of the tools in VASP is the research arenas. There are 4 arenas and headed by the big companies. So Saab, Ericsson, ABB and SE-Banken. So this is the Saab owned arena, and it's a lot of collaborating companies here, and very much the same as in air mobility. So we have from the start good overlap. So the arenas, the purpose of the arenas is to bring the research much closer to reality. So we bring the researchers out in the field, let them meet the industry, the government, and come back with good results. So this the VARPS covers autonomy and AI, with focusing on collaborative systems. A lot of systems together doing something bigger than one system can do, and together with humans. And that's exactly one of the problems in air domain. So we have the same researchers in the 2 programs here. And you also see there are some dates, some events. This is things that we're doing very close together. We try to use the same methodology to work with annual events where we meet, where we do testing, where we learn together. And coming up in the spring now, the next event, and there's a big one later in September. So it's a growing interest for this area with small and many flying and boats on ground. So an airport is not only what you see in the air, of course, as you said, it's also on the ground. So here we have kind of an airport where we fly, we drive boats, we work with autonomy.
Thank you, Jesper. As a second round here, I would like to dig a bit further into what is my main interest here, learning and the dissemination of knowledge, because I think Christian said here at the beginning that an important part of this program is to secure that all these projects, large and small, don't become isolated islands of knowledge, that we have a connection between them. So, with respect to both testbed air mobility and VASP RPS, how do we secure that learning and the dissemination of knowledge spreads beyond you guys and those who accidentally or hopefully find the project? Katrin, if you could begin.
Yes, I think it's more or less the nature of an open testbed to spread information. It is a place to gather around, to talk to each other, to do research and development together, tests, demonstrations, and so on, and find synergies with other projects. It can be big European projects, Swedish projects, or down to the municipalities, small projects. And also for the SMEs are welcome to the open testbed, of course, if they are going to discuss something, test something, and demonstrate something too. And also, I think it's also when the industry work with the academia, we'll also spread the information to the students in publications, and also we have some master thesis works according to the project.
Morgan, you?
Yes, thank you, Fredrik. I think that it's not only that we want to spread the information that we are creating here in the project, we also must do it because it's written in black and white in the project specification. So we have targets, we have activities in the Vinnova testbed air mobility project that, okay, we need to spread it, how should we spread it, what should we spread, and how. So it's not an addition to the end. It's something that we're doing continuously. It's in our DNA, you could say, in the project to spread information towards other participants or interested parties around Sweden.
Lovely to hear. Jesper?
Yeah, I can also highlight that the Expert Learning Lab is another advanced digitalization project, and which we will use for spreading also. And we are targeting those dates and events there to use the Advanced Expert Learning Lab to be part of our activities and see how can we transfer the knowledge, how to educate students, their PhDs. Can we do that with experts, and can we mix with courses from the universities and also government involvement there.
Thank you. We are good on time. We don't have any questions from now. I would like to maybe a bit improvised here, but two other themes or dimensions here that I would like to delve, if you have some reflection on it, all of you. First, the theme of because this seminar is part of the bigger event that Vinnova arranges, the Swedish Innovation Days. And one of the themes of Sweden Innovation Days is resilience. If you're nodding. I think maybe you have something to say there. And also, so we could take that theme first, and because I was also curious to know more about the more practical challenges that you have in front of you that you see is needed to address in order to reach the goals of the project. But let's start with resilience. Anyone who?
Yeah, I thought more about the obstacles. Can we start with that one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, we develop and improve technology and then innovations and so on, but we also need to improve and change the regulations, and and that's I think that's the obstacle, because that we can't handle that by ourselves in the participant parties here. We have to have the other authorities with us too. So we need to improve the technology and show that this is working, and start all over again, and improve it even more to make redundancy, safety and security. So that's the challenge, I think, to reach the goal. And that's also the time-consuming part of it.
Okay. Any regulations in particular, if you?
Regulations for combinations of manned and unmanned flights.
All right. Is it just because it is kind of a new area, maiden area, that well, regulators don't or are not used to, or?
Yeah, no, it's a new area, and we have very old-fashioned regulations today with different areas around the airports and so on. So we need to change to more modern parts and split it up in new ways.
Exactly. Unfortunately, we had one person who couldn't show up today, Mats Åberg from Swedavia, which is the Air Traffic Management Authority. I think you could. What would his perspective be as a regulator or represented?
Their goal with this project, one of the goal of the project, is to make procedures from at one of our largest airports in the end of the project. Procedures for drones into Landvetter, for example, in different directions, whilst the conventional flights are ongoing. And we can do it, I think, technical-wise, but we don't know if we are going to achieve that goal because of transport season and the regulations. So we need to have a very narrow cooperation with the authorities too to reach our goals.
You guys?
Maybe we could say a comment on the resilience combined with that, is that this is a very special project in that manner that there are drones flying, there are flying vehicles, and the airports are working, and the airspace are there. And meanwhile, we are adding this, and we're doing it simultaneously as the world goes on. So the way of working we try to have here, as well as in VARPS, is to work with something that continuously going on, and then we dive in to do demonstrations like snapshots of where we are, and get more and more real together with authorities. So we work with regulations, the technology, and try to find business for other companies. So it's kind of a part of the society.
Yeah. And maybe if we continue on the resilience part, I would say that today we are quite good on the resilience, both on the actual drone, the number of sources it have for receiving information. We have a very resilient 5G network that we can use. We have good connectivity. We have other information that really improves the resilience and the robustness. The challenge is maybe that we haven't managed so far to show this to the people that make the decisions. So I think, as Jesper said, having these demonstrations showing that, okay, something happened, okay, we turn off this one, it continues, we turn off this one, it continues. The drone stops working on this part, it continues. To show the resilience over and over again, to show them that we are ready. You fix the regulations, we will have an ecosystem up running in no time.
One question that pops up in my mind, because the ambition is to be open here and to invite all parties. How do we secure that we don't invite parties that we are a bit uncomfortable with having being part of the project, if you understand what I mean?
Really good question. I've thought about this and I have no idea how to answer it. But it's something that we need to consider, and who can we let in and show all the cool things that we're doing, so it's not getting into the wrong hands, so to say, because unfortunately there exist wrong hands in today's world.
Yeah.
And maybe the way of work in Sweden, this is a quite small world for us. We know each other quite well from between the companies and the government. So it's like little family that grows. So we need to build in a way that we trust each other, and that maybe makes it more easy to have an idea of who should be there or not.
But we need to have it in our minds all the time, I think.
Yeah.
So that's a good question.
Cybersecurity is a really important issue that is targeted here also.
Great. Yeah, thank you. I will have Katarina to stay here on stage, and Jesper and Morgan, thank you for showing up here and sharing. And I will invite Christian Hagen. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
So now we have the final part here to reflections on both on the project itself and on the wider perspective of the role of the project within the program. And I let you, Christian, have the floor first here with reflections and opportunities and challenges. How do we achieve lasting effects?
Well, I think I would like to have two reflections from this project. And I think, we discussed how could we accelerate innovation in a very regulated air domain. And I think this shows the importance of having technology innovation research going hand in hand with government authority and transport authorities. Because if we are not doing that jointly, it will take too long time for us from a technology point of view to convince regulators on how we can build a safe air domain with unmanned and manned mixed environment. So I think that part is absolutely vital here. That unless we do that in the air domain, there are other domains also that are fairly regulated. We are losing speed and pace of innovation that everyone will not benefit from unless we do it in this way. The second reflection I have is relating to learning. And we discussed cybersecurity here, and we have another thematic, which addresses applied and advanced digitalization within the cybersecurity domain. And one of the learnings and reflections in that project has been that we have, for instance, a joint project on how to quality assure open source software so that we don't introduce vulnerabilities, still allowing innovators and product designers to use a lot of open source software when we develop new features and functionality. And in that project, there were some groundbreaking initiatives or innovation that we did together with Ericsson in this case. On the other hand, it was like 20 people knowing how to use that type of methodology and toolbox. And in that instance, there was a very natural step to actually develop a learning journey that was specifically addressing software designers on how to use open source software without introducing vulnerabilities. So that's another reflection on how important it is to not only do the applied research and the innovation, but also to allow multitude of experts to use that knowledge. So those two reflections, having regulation and innovation going hand in hand to speed up the real application. And the other one is how important it is to spread the knowledge.
When you mentioned the project within cybersecurity, are you particularly thinking about the cyber campus or
and cyber campus has been one key initiative that we realized that in order to get the best use of latest research in that very important area, why don't we institutionalize a campus that is absolutely open then for industries, public sector. And that cyber campus we jointly opened also as part of the Advanced Digitalisation program, and that cyber campus now is hosted by KTH then, or Royal Institute of Technology here in Stockholm, and we are a part of it, and the Advanced Digitalisation program is the overall sponsor of it.
Thank you. Katarina, any particular reflections?
Yes,
You already mentioned
yes.
challenges
Thank
of
you,
opportunities,
Christian.
but in addition.
I can agree what you say, Christian, with both the reflections, but I think we need the big interest that we have today from Advanced Digitalisation, and also the supportive government that we have to support the big companies in Sweden and also the SMEs, and do it as a mix with academia authorities. Otherwise, I think it could be very hard to start that from one of the companies. Now we have 4 of the largest ones in Sweden, and they started to cooperate within the Advanced Digitalisation, and then we can see the interest from other projects that want to join us and want to cooperate and so on. So,
thank you. As before we end here, any final word? What is your we already mentioned the visions and dreams here, but say 2035. What is the scenario that we would like to achieve? You can begin, Katarina.
Yes, I hope we have more, not fully, but more integrated airspace together with the conventional airspace, aviation, and also the unmanned drones, eVTOLs, smaller, bigger, in the same infrastructure. And we have the regulations more or less on the places, and we can develop more services for the drone operators and for the conventional aviations. So it will be cost effective, and also we get to improve the transportation in the air.
Thank you. Christian?
Yeah, I think we are off to a good start. I think we have it very much in the Swedish and Nordic DNA that we have a very collaborative approach, and we are a very innovative ecosystem. Still, I think we can accelerate ideas quicker. I think we can create a foundation with this type of program and beyond on how to actually open up for innovators, both from the academic arena as well as from the industrial ecosystem, together with government authorities on solving today's and future problems quicker in a more innovative way. And I think we have, as I said, off to a good start, but we need to do more.
Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Katarina. Thank you who have participated, and thanks also to all of you who have tuned in to this webinar. Thank you.